Imagine this. A calm morning in California. The skies are barely waking up, sunlight slowly sliding through the windows, and a warm cup of coffee waiting on the counter inside that $14 million Montecito mansion. Suddenly, Meghan Markle's phone explodes with notifications, flashing non-stop like a light show. Call after call starts coming in, and things spiral quickly because Tom Bower has just dropped a shocking revelation that has everyone talking. What he's revealed this time has people buzzing, teams scrambling, and Meghan reportedly keeping a low profile behind closed doors. This isn't just another royal twist. It's a full-on media storm spinning out in real time. Here's the truth about Tom Bower. He's no random voice online chasing clicks. He's a seasoned journalist with years of experience taking on big names from around the world. We're talking top business figures, major public personalities, and people with serious influence. And yes, that includes the royal family. Before we dive into what just came out and why it has Meghan Markle so on edge, make sure to hit subscribe, smash that like button, and turn on notifications, because this story is moving fast, and you don't want to miss what's next. Tom Bower earned his reputation by saying what others wouldn't dare even whisper. When he turns his focus on someone, it's never easy or comfortable. And once he starts writing about you, things tend to heat up fast. He's not the type to gloss things over or protect anyone's image. He digs deep, investigates thoroughly, and doesn't stop until the untold details come out. His book Revenge, Meghan, Harry, and the war between the Windsors shook everything to the core, and the reaction was instant. Royal circles were reportedly left stunned. Headlines went wild, media outlets lit up, and everyone started talking non-stop. The claims in Tom Bower's book sent shockwaves everywhere. The claims spread through every corner of the internet, and people still can't stop talking about them. Most thought that was his peak, that Tom Bower had already said everything there was to say, but he's pushed things even further this time. And that's saying a lot, considering how explosive his last release was. Now Tom Bower is shifting the focus to a part of Meghan Markle's past she might have preferred to keep quiet, her early Hollywood grind. Not the glamorous events or spotlight moments, but the hustle behind the scenes. The auditions, the long waits, and the endless chase to break into a tough industry. Hollywood can be brutal. It takes more than talent. Timing, connections, and the right backing all matter. And according to what Tom Bower has uncovered, Meghan Markle's climb to fame might not have been as smooth as it seemed, with new talk about certain doors opening in ways no one expected. Sudden opportunities appearing with no clear explanation. That's what has everyone in Hollywood talking. The story being whispered now sounds completely different from the one the public has been told for years. And here's where it gets intense. There's growing talk about the connections Meghan Markle might have relied on while climbing the ladder. People are starting to question everything. People are starting to wonder, was her rise all about talent, or did the right connections play a bigger role than anyone realized? And it doesn't stop there. Tom Bower's sources are now sharing stories about people she supposedly left behind on her way up. Not literally stepping on anyone, but making sharp cuts once success came knocking. Former friends fading away, colleagues suddenly out of the picture. It paints the image of someone laser-focused on making it, no matter what. According to Tom Bower, that path from struggling actress to global figure might not have been as picture-perfect as it's been portrayed. And it didn't stop in Hollywood. Things are about to get even messier. Tom Bower went even deeper, claiming Meghan Markle didn't just climb the ladder. She may have reshaped parts of her own story to make everything fit perfectly. Once Prince Harry entered the scene, everything changed. Meeting a real prince can flip your entire world upside down. And according to Tom Bower, that's when Meghan Markle began fine-tuning her past, adjusting details, polishing moments, and building the image of a modern royal icon. It's like watching someone craft a flawless brand. The modern princess with a story that feels perfectly written. One passage even claims she reworked entire parts of her background to match that image. Small tweaks, but major rewrites of how her journey was told. Those kinds of claims make people rethink everything they believed about her rise. And here's where it hit Meghan Markle the hardest. Insiders say that when she realized how much Tom Bower had uncovered, she completely lost her cool. This wasn't just casual chatter or recycled public information. He had details she never expected anyone to dig up. This time, it got personal. The details in Tom Bower's findings reportedly came from people who actually knew Meghan Markle, those who were once close to her. And that's when the real panic began. She realized someone she trusted might have spoken to Tom Bower. For someone known for controlling every aspect of her public image, that's a total nightmare. Insiders say Meghan Markle struggles when she's not the one steering the story. She wants to know what's being said, when it's being said, and how it's framed. That's always been her approach: full control, no surprises. But with Tom Bower's book, she had zero control. And she knew it. Word is, she even had her team quietly trying to figure out who might have leaked information. There were questions about who might have spoken to him, what old friends or connections may have turned. And this wasn't just gossip. These were insider-level details that only someone from Meghan Markle's circle could have known. Tom Bower's revelations cut straight through her polished image, challenging every carefully crafted story about her journey and rise. And the key point? This wasn't random online chatter. It came from someone with real proof, someone who had done the digging. Imagine that feeling. Spending years shaping your image, making sure every interview, photo, and post fits the perfect story you've built. Then suddenly, someone steps in and starts pulling back the curtain, hinting that things may not have been exactly as they seemed. That flawless image Meghan Markle guarded so tightly began to show cracks. And once those cracks appear, you can't unsee them. While Meghan Markle is dealing with all this chaos, let's shift to Prince Harry for a moment. He hasn't exactly been calm either. Insiders say that ever since whispers about Tom Bower's new book started spreading, he's been seriously stressed. And it's easy to see why. Their California dream, that fresh start, is now under intense pressure. That fresh start they once talked up is now looking shaky with this book out. Their big projects in the US haven't gone as smoothly as planned. Remember that hyped Netflix deal? It hit rough waters. Some projects were paused, others didn't land the way people expected, and let's just say the platform wasn't exactly thrilled. Then came the end of their Spotify partnership, another major bump in their Hollywood journey. It's the kind of headline-making stumble that has everyone asking, what are they really bringing to the table? And it doesn't stop there. Meghan Markle's big lifestyle brand push, that whole wellness wave, isn't exactly catching fire. The buzz feels flat, people seem confused, and the momentum just isn't there for it to take off. Here's the twist. For years, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have built their image around being real, authentic, and truthful. That's been their entire message in interviews, appearances, and public statements. In shows, interviews, and books, they've emphasized living honestly and speaking their truth. But now, with Tom Bower's new book out, that image is starting to crack wide open. The timing couldn't be worse. The book is allegedly revealing a side of Meghan Markle that no one has seen before. And people are beginning to wonder if that authentic image was truly real, or just part of a carefully crafted story. If the public starts believing it was all staged, that's not just bad PR, it shakes the very foundation they've built. With their California projects already struggling and public interest cooling off, this book couldn't have arrived at a tougher moment. This is the last thing they needed right now. Just when they could least afford another controversy, it's landed right on their doorstep. Prince Harry knows exactly how fast this can spiral. He's seen it happen before. One story breaks, then another follows, and suddenly it's everywhere. And suddenly every move you make is under a microscope. That's exactly where they are now. Every interview, every quote, every appearance is being picked apart in light of this new information. For someone who left royal life chasing peace and freedom, this must feel exhausting. Instead of a calm new chapter, they're back in the center of a media storm. Only this time, there's no royal team to manage the chaos. And if you think things are messy already, wait until you hear what Tom Bower has uncovered about Meghan Markle's family situation. This is where things turn deeply personal, and honestly emotional. For years, Meghan Markle's story about her father, Thomas Markle, has remained consistent. That he broke her trust with staged photos and interviews before her wedding, leading her to cut ties. But according to Tom Bower, there may be more to that story than what has been publicly shared. Tom Bower is now digging into the real story behind Meghan Markle's falling out with her father, and the narrative being discussed is adding a whole new layer of tension to an already controversial situation. The questions he's asking don't exactly portray her as the innocent figure she's often been seen as. Framing is everything, and Meghan Markle has always been skilled at it. When you control how people see a story, most will believe it, even if it's not the full picture. Sources say Meghan Markle mastered this skill early on, and Tom Bower is reportedly exposing how she may have shaped the family drama to protect her public image. One insider even said, Meghan Markle understood that framing everything was crucial. If that meant adjusting details or leaving things out, that's what you do. Now, this doesn't mean Thomas Markle was perfect. Far from it. He had his share of mistakes. But Tom Bower is suggesting the story the public has heard may not represent the full picture. Show more, show less. Heard might not tell the whole truth. He hints that the tension between Meghan Markle and her father, Thomas Markle, may not have been completely one-sided. Maybe, just maybe, there were things happening on both ends that pushed them apart. This part really hits because Meghan Markle's family fallout has been a major piece of her public story. The image of someone misunderstood, betrayed, and let down by those closest to her made people empathize with her, defend her, and see her as the one who got hurt. But what happens if that story starts to crack? If people begin thinking some of it was exaggerated or reshaped, suddenly her whole public image looks shaky. And Tom Bower isn't stopping at her father. He's reportedly re-examining her entire journey, from the early Hollywood hustle to her transformation into a global name. Everyone knows the story, struggling actress to Duchess to international figure. But Tom Bower is asking the bigger question. How much of that was genuine, and how much was carefully crafted? Building an image takes timing, planning, and precision. And according to sources, Meghan Markle was incredibly skilled at it, maybe even too good. The book isn't even fully out yet, but the buzz is already intense. Social media is on fire. People are rewatching old interviews, pulling up past clips, and comparing her words to what's surfacing now. And the inconsistencies are starting to pile up fast. Now the comparisons are flooding in. People are spotting mismatched timelines, shifting details, and moments where Meghan Markle's stories don't quite line up. And here's the wild twist. It's not just critics pointing it out anymore. Even longtime supporters, the ones who used to defend her no matter what, are suddenly quiet. Comment sections once filled with praise are now filled with doubt. People are asking, wait, how much of this was actually real? That's a serious problem because these are the same people who once related to her story and felt her journey, struggles, and believed every word. And now they're second-guessing everything. And across the pond, the British press is going all in. Headlines everywhere. Tabloids are screaming about secrets revealed and the Duchess exposed. It's like the old scandal days all over again, but this time it feels heavier because there's real information being discussed, not just gossip. UK outlets have been waiting for a moment like this, and now that they've got it, they're running non-stop stories, digging into every detail Tom Bower has uncovered and not holding back for a second. Every small detail is being picked apart, analyzed, debated, and dissected. And behind the gates of that Montecito mansion, things are reportedly tense. Staff are said to be walking on eggshells, unsure what could set things off next. The pressure is thick. Phones ringing non-stop, crisis meetings popping up everywhere, and PR teams scrambling to calm a situation that's escalating by the hour. They're trying to find a fix, some way to soften the blow. But when someone like Tom Bower releases a book this detailed, there's only so much damage control anyone can do. Insiders say Meghan Markle has told friends she feels completely cornered, like everything is closing in. She's reportedly feeling exposed, betrayed, and more vulnerable than she has in years. And this time, it's not just random rumors. It's detailed claims that are making people rethink everything they believed about her image. That carefully built public persona she spent years shaping is taking serious hits. Because once people start doubting one part of a story, they start questioning everything. Now let's pull back the curtain and see what's really going on inside that Montecito mansion. When the news started spreading, things turned chaotic fast. Picture this. Early morning, Meghan Markle's phone blowing up non-stop. Calls, texts, notifications pouring in from friends trying to warn her about what was coming. According to insiders, the moment she realized what Tom Bower had uncovered, she reportedly completely lost it. This was full-on crisis mode. Publicists and crisis managers were called instantly. Phones ringing off the hook, emergency meetings popping up everywhere. Everyone was scrambling, trying to figure out the scope of what they were facing, because this wasn't a story they could just brush aside. This was serious. Sources say the scene was pure chaos. One insider described Meghan Markle pacing the room, reportedly nearly in tears, asking again and again, how could he possibly know all that? She wasn't just upset. She was stunned. What really shook her was how personal the information was. This wasn't something you could just dig up online. These were details only people who truly knew Meghan Markle could have shared. People she may have once been close to, people she trusted deeply. And that realization reportedly hit hard. The thought that someone from her inner circle might have spoken to Tom Bower was something she couldn't easily shake. One insider described it as watching someone realize their fortress wasn't as secure as they believed. All that careful image control. And still, things were leaking out. But Tom Bower didn't stop at Hollywood or family drama. He reportedly went even deeper into territory that becomes more personal. From childhood stories to school years and early career moves. Everything was reportedly under his microscope. And what he found is making people question how much of the polished version of Meghan Markle matches reality. Sources from her Northwestern days say the Meghan Markle they remember seems completely different from the public figure we see now. Not just in fame, but in how she described her background and experiences. If those old classmates start speaking up and comparing notes, things could get uncomfortable fast, especially if versions of events don't fully line up. Those old details you thought were buried suddenly resurfacing. That's the kind of situation that becomes a worst-case scenario for anyone managing a public image. It's about losing control of the narrative, losing grip on perception, and realizing that no matter how tightly you manage it, the past can still come back into focus. Here's where things get more intense. Tom Bower's book reportedly includes a level of personal detail that wouldn't normally come from public sources alone. We're talking about private stories and behind-the-scenes accounts that raise even more questions about where the information is coming from. Behind-the-scenes moments and conversations no one outside her circle should know. That means someone talked, maybe even more than one person. And that's what has Meghan Markle reportedly spiraling right now. Speculation is running wild about who could have cooperated. Some point to former staff or palace aides who may have wanted to share their side after the royal years. Others think it could be old Hollywood connections, friends or co-workers left behind when fame arrived. But the biggest buzz is the idea that someone from her own family may have spoken to Tom Bower. That possibility alone is enough to shake anyone who has worked hard to keep every detail under control. When it comes to family, one name keeps coming up: Thomas Markle, Meghan Markle's father. Now, no one knows for sure if he actually spoke to Tom Bower, but the level of detail in the book about family moments has people questioning who else could possibly know those things. Who else would remember those exact details? And apparently Meghan Markle is wondering the same thing. Insiders say she's been deeply unsettled by the speculation. Meghan Markle has reportedly been calling around, asking questions to find out if her father, Thomas Markle, was one of Tom Bower's sources. Because if that turns out to be true, it's not just a leak, it's deeply personal. And then there's Samantha Markle, her half-sister. Right around the book's release, she's been active online, posting cryptic messages and thanking certain people for finally sharing the truth. You don't have to be a detective to see why that's raising eyebrows. Meanwhile, Prince Harry is caught in the middle. Sources say he's torn. He wants to shield Meghan Markle and hates seeing her under attack, but he's also exhausted. Every few months it's another controversy, another book, another headline. He moved to California for peace, not to live inside a non-stop storm. Insiders say the atmosphere in their home has turned tense, almost cold, with stress hanging heavily in the air, that neither of them can escape. When the past keeps getting dragged back into the spotlight, it wears you down. And this time, it's taking a real toll. But here's the kicker. It's probably not over. There's already talk of more documentaries and more writers digging into Meghan Markle's Hollywood years. It's like the floodgates have opened, and now everyone wants to tell their version of who she really is. For someone who spent years carefully shaping her public image, watching it all unravel piece by piece must feel overwhelming. That past she tried to move beyond isn't staying buried. It's resurfacing fast. Everything Meghan Markle built, every polished story about who she is and where she came from, is now under intense scrutiny. And when your entire brand depends on one image, those cracks become massive. People aren't just doubting one thing anymore. They're questioning everything. Every interview, every speech is being rewatched with new eyes, with her reputation hanging in the balance. Think about it. Meghan Markle went from being a celebrated global figure with major opportunities, big partnerships, and a platform most people could only dream of. But now every title, every speech, every part of that carefully built image is being re-examined under a completely different light. And here's the twist. Meghan Markle's toughest battle right now isn't with Tom Bower, the media, or online critics. Her real struggle is with something she can't control, can't reframe, and can't explain away: her past, or at least the way it's being reinterpreted in the present version of her past that's now coming to light. No matter how strong the PR team is, or how many statements go out, if a public image doesn't fully match reality, there's only so much that can be patched up. And the past Meghan Markle has worked so hard to reshape isn't staying quiet. It's resurfacing story by story, detail by detail. Maybe that's the thing about trying to control every part of your narrative. Eventually, the truth, whatever version people believe, finds its way back into the conversation. So what happens next? That's the question everyone is asking. Can Meghan Markle bounce back from this? Can her brand survive the storm? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a deeper shift in how her public image is seen? Is this a comeback story waiting to happen? Or the moment that changes everything? Is Meghan Markle's image beyond repair? Or does she still have one last move left to turn it all around? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This one is bound to spark serious debate. And hey, if this breakdown made you look at things differently, make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video. Stay tuned for more updates and deep dives.